Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nobi TV, the platform for the Africans living in the motherland and those living in the diaspora. I just saw a beautiful post by this brother named Everybody Hates Angel, and I found it quite interesting because it's he was talking about something we happen to suffer a lot from now, which is about the infiltration of our cause, of our struggle, and of the black initiatives to help uplift the communities by people with a malice mindset and capitalistic mindsets trying to benefit from our initiatives and everything. So actually, he was talking about the marathon which so happened to have been sold, in a very beautiful package to the Africans. Like it was this beautiful advancement, a step forward towards the technological advancement in Africa, where Africa will be building its own phone from scratch, from the beginning to the finish. I mean, when I heard the news, when I saw the news, I was very happy as an African to be like, wow, this is a great initiative. At least we will. It's time for us to stop being consumers and to start, you know, bringing something to the table. Being able to also share with the world, our abilities to be able to create, to be able to innovate, and all these things. That doesn't mean we haven't been doing it, but I think we haven't been at the forefront of it because most of the times we create and we have people that kick us aside, like we're some kids, and they take, all the credits and everything. So I thought it was quite a beautiful initiative. So when I saw this post by this brother, I was very interested. I mean, I found it very interesting to share my point of view on it. And I would definitely take side with this brother. Shout outs to him. Everybody hates Angel. Go and support the brother. It's time for us to do that. We need to start supporting ourselves. There is nothing bad in doing that because the world is so much of a community, a nationalist and a community centered world where Asians, only stand for the profit and the interest of the Asians, whites for the profit and the interest of the whites, Arabs, it's only Africans that we are for everybody and nobody's for us. So he actually tried to make it clear like this. He did some research, and it so happened he so happened to expose the fact that the owner of this company wasn't an African. He was so I think he was so far an Arab person, and when I think that he's actually right because when I saw the president of Rwanda, I think this company is based in Rwanda, Paul Kagame, trying to and I must make it clear I'm not blaming Mr. Paul Kagame. I'm just because he is trying to create opportunities. If we don't have people that are able to take initiatives to go forward to create something, the economy of the country needs investors. And if our people can't do this, they rather make billions and stunt on the other Africans that do not have and tell us how much of losers we are and everything, rather than creating opportunities in the communities for our bright minds to be able to excel, to be able to put to use all the knowledge of gone to schools in US, Russia to acquire. Somebody else would do it. If you don't respect the minds of the genesis and the great thinkers in your community, in your society, others would respect their minds and they would take advantage of it. So I mean, it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting what he did, the research, and yes, beautiful. This photo, I know this face. The man, I would say, on the left with the green white so-called ribbon, something on his neck. That happens to be the owner of this company, a young Arab man. He looks quite Indian to me, but well, the sometimes look alike, the Asians and everything. So he is actually the owner of this company, and it has been so well refined and packaged to be sold to the Africans, just like usual. Like, oh, this is a beautiful project for Africa, Pan Africanism. Oh yeah, let's stand for this and buy and give me your money. And yeah, but what they fail to understand is the Africans now are not the same. The same tricks our parents fell for, we can fall for that. That doesn't mean there wouldn't be Africans that will go out there and buy these things, but that is up to them. You can force somebody to think. You can't force somebody to think for his own interests. To do the right thing that could benefit him and others. And kudos to this man. You're trying to be an entrepreneur, create things is good. But the fact is, Africans can own nothing in the Arab land. It's a no-no. I've lived in the Arab land. If you're a soccer player, you can barely even play in the league. Like they have a law, I think it's in Tunisia and maybe other Arab countries where they can recruit more than two foreign players in their football league. These people are so conservative and protective of their properties, of their wealth, but they want to take other people's wealth, and riches. And well, I must say I won't blame them because they've been excelling, which means it's a good thing, and it's a good thing for them. But our philosophy as Africans is we can all live as one people and share, and. But the fact is, our philosophy does. The fact that we have that philosophy doesn't mean it works for everybody, and that is right. It's time for us to start thinking for our own interest. To start protecting our own interests, to build our own companies, to set up our own fund companies. This is not something mystical. You don't need magic to do this. All what you need is a goodwill. And that is why I must say big shout out to Ghana, to the president, Mr. Ado, for creating this initiative of the Year of Return in Ghana, which has opened the doors to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who were able to come back home and to see that, a lot of what they've been told was lies, and to realize how much of love the people back home got for them, and how much we have been lied to just to divide us, because they know as soon as we start getting together, things are going to change. So like I said, this is a video of Mr. Paul Kagame, whom I must say again, I'm not blaming. He's just trying to create opportunities for people to excel in his country, you know. So if some of our rappers, ball players, and all these things will stop, flying out these stats, you know, and maybe take a little bit of that money, just $5,000, and invest in Africa, you'll be shocked by what you would do. You will be shocked. You can own your own company, chocolate factories, coffee. It doesn't cost nothing. I don't know how I don't know how much we need to talk to, what we need to do to awaken our people to realize the opportunities that lies in Africa, which they should be able to rush to grab. So I mean, it's quite sad to see the same things repeating themselves. Other people from other races and countries are able to come to Africa and enrich themselves, then turn and disrespect the Africans. And I must tell you, this man, I can guarantee you, he doesn't care about us, because most of them are from wealthy families. Most of these Arabs are racist people. Most of them, not all, but a large part of them are racist. I've lived in Tunisia and I know what it is. I've lived in Tunisia and I know what it is. So I'm just, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. But as for me, I'm not buying this phone. I won't fall for this trick anymore. Enough is enough. And they try to use the Pan-Africanist, it's time for Africa now. Yes, we know it's time for Africa now, but it's time for Africans to do the things in Africa, not you people. Because you have never respected us. You've never appreciated us. Not like we care if you respect us or appreciate us. We don't care. Do whatever you want to do. But the fact is, like we won't let y'all come to Africa and do whatever you think you want. And Africa, Africans need to control the narratives and what comes in and leaves Africa. We have to transform our own cocoa, our own coffee, and produce these things and find our place on the global markets like everybody. So I'm saying I'm saying this. All Africans, like, we need to start connecting with each other. The Africans in the diaspora, you know, take if you're hearing this message, come home. The time is now. The opportunities are there. Join forces. Don't come with a capitalistic mindset of, oh, I'm the boss. I want to own this. I want to have 1 trillion and look on others like they're nothing. No, Africa was never built like that. Capitalism was never part of our system. Politics was never part of our system. And we must get rid of all these things and get back to our roots. Of course, we need changes to modernize it, to, bring new touches. But we need to own our own system of government. Set up our own system of government like we did before, which is all about humanity, being humane, being able to feel the pain of another person, not playing politics. You don't play games with people's life. That's why they say play politics, because it was never something honest from the beginning. You don't play games with people's life. When you're choosing, when you're choosing to be a leader of a community, it's a blessing. It's a privilege, and you're supposed to serve the people, not play politics with them. So just by the word "play politics," you already understand this thing is a very nasty thing, and that's not part of our culture, or part of that is not that's not part of the values we share. So, I mean, it's rather sad, Africans are falling for this, but I'm quite positive, and I'm quite you know, I'm sure a lot of Africans would not fall for this trick anymore, because we are ready. The young Africans are of a different breed. All these clowns, these old quacks in power that have ruined Africa, that give birth to kids but are unable to pay the ultimate price, which means to be able to die for their own kids and their families, to have a better life, to have a life of dignity. We don't respect these people. They do not represent us, the youth of Africa. We are a whole different people, and the time of change has come, and nobody will take that from us. Africa would stand and rise back from its ashes, and the great Egypt will be rebuilt again. But this time they wouldn't tell us we were not the Egyptians. We are the Egyptians. We created all these things. You are our children. We set the trends and you follow. That is why you all need us to validate your products, to make them hot and popping, so the world could buy it. But guess what? We don't even want to share in your companies no more. We are going to own our own companies. We are going to build our own companies. We are going to set up our own luxury brands. Yes, you're having a great competition coming to the market, and you will make way. So, yeah, like I said, for me, I wouldn't be buying the Amara phone. And I'm not telling it, I won't tell you what to do, but you're smart enough to know what to do. So this brother also talked about this guy called, he talked about the Figures phone. I found it quite interesting. He said it was a black guy that owned this phone and everything. But actually, when I looked at the photo of this guy, he wasn't really so much of a black person to me. He looked Indian or some Latino or something. This guy is definitely like 80%, native, this Indian, red Indians or something like those in Guatemala, Venezuela. He doesn't really look African to me. He might have been, like I heard, based on what he said he was adopted. He was abandoned from kid. He from birth, and he was adopted by this black family. Man, much love to you, my brother, bro. Keep doing your thing, but I ain't buying that figure's phone. I'm tired of any person with 1% black in him claiming black and trying to sell me something. I'm not buying that shit no more. Sorry for cursing, but whatever. You know, sorry but not sorry. So I'm not buying this. This man doesn't look black to me. If he comes to Africa, I bet you everybody will call him the white man. You know, I'm not saying our half brothers are not black, or if you got a mother that is white, or daddy that is black, or you know you're not black. Nah, we accept all our kids, but one thing is for sure, we can't allow people to use pawns in our communities to sell us things, you know, while they're behind making the money. So my question to this Friday figures guys, who's your boss? Who calls the shot? You know, this is chess. You know, who's a king? Who's the person behind you funding? If it's you, kudos to you, my man. Keep doing your thing. But we are traumatized from people playing games with us. Our leaders playing games with us. Our community leaders playing games with us to enrich themselves. Selling us projects and selling us hopes like, man, we are here to stand with you. And the next day they're selling out. So for me, if it ain't made in Africa, from beginning to the ending, that I'm aware of, I've seen the factories with my own eyes, I'm not buying it. Facts. Facts. You know? And if you, even, like, I must say this, my reason is because, period, this guy doesn't look black enough to me. He doesn't look black to me. I wouldn't say black enough, but he doesn't really look black to me. You know? He doesn't really look black to me. I might be wrong, but, you know, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. We've been through a lot, you know? Calls from left to right, people playing games with us. Bro, I need me a Tyrus to sell me a phone that he owns for real, for real. And even if he has a partnership with a Chinese company, that brother got to own at least 60%, a majority share in that company for me to endorse that company. To know at least a huge chunk of the bread is coming back to the community. And we need to see their actions in the community, the jobs they're creating, the opportunities, you know, for the youth, you know, to keep them out of the streets, the medical services, medical care services they're offering, you know, the educational facilities. We need to see that money spent because white people are doing that in their community. Asians are doing that, opening their own banks and cooperatives to support young entrepreneurs. So is that what you're doing? You know, we need to see y'all do that. It's not just about, oh, it's a black business support. No. What are you doing with the money? Am I giving you my money for you to go the next day and buy 50,000, 100,000 of Gucci or Louis Vuitton? So I basically supported you, gave me my money, and you gave it back to the same person that is oppressing me. And that doesn't mean I got a problem with these people. Yeah, I got a problem somehow because they're racist. They've showed it a couple of times. We've seen H&M and Zara, all these people, Prada, all these people disrespect black people with the black face. So I definitely got a problem with them, you know. But it's their business. They choose to do whatever they want to do with it, and that's the power of ownership. When you own your own, you can do whatever you want, and that's what we are preaching. Yes, we are preaching because the time is now. We need to own our own things and control our own narratives. You understand? We can't let people to keep playing with us like that. Enough is enough. So this is coming from a brother from Africa. You know, we stand with y'all, our people in the US, all our diasporans. We see what's happening, the brutality from the cops, the racism from day to day. But trust me, you got options, and that option is Africa. And it got its arms quite open for y'all. Take the trip to Africa. Ghana is a good start. The other African countries, I wouldn't really advise it, Cameroon and all that, because it's all messed up there with the dictators and all these people. But trust me, we're going to be all right. Everything's going to be fine. The time is now. Keep your head up. Don't give up. And if they shoot back. All that I got a dream thing is over, man. It's Malcolm X style this time. Shoot back. Fight back. You know, power only respects power. Fire only respects fire. So don't squeal into your hole and chill like nothing was happening. Stand up and fight for your rights. The time is now. And don't let anybody come around trying to sell you something claiming it's all black. Do your research on it. Do your research before you remove your money and buy something, because your money is your power. In this capitalistic world, your wealth is your power. And that's what gives you the voice to be able to express yourself freely. So don't let all these Pakistanis and Indians come, own shops in your communities, and even got the nerve to shoot, you know, your kids. That might happen to maybe take things from their shops, because these kids may be hungry and they go in and grab a little biscuit and run with it. I'm not saying what they're doing is okay, but that ain't good enough for you to kill a child, you know. So yeah, my people, the time is now. We got to stand up and really show solidarity. And trust me, the opportunities are in Africa. So tell PDD and all these people to stop cooning, to stop clowning around. It's time for them to, if they can, invest in Africa. I don't want to be the person that is telling another person what to do with his money, because what you can't do, I would do it. Don't wait on PDD. You listening to this, bro? Take the knowledge from me and make something out of it. So don't worry about these people that you've trusted with your money, supporting them, and they turn their back on you. Don't worry, it's not too late. Keep your head up, you understand? And do what's right for you and your people. One love, peace.